Just to start, we're going to go over a bit of an overview of the season, sort of just briefly. The team finished in 18th position in the end at the end of the season, 12 points clear of the bottom four. My question being, do you think if you were playing sort of in the form that you ended the season on, how many more points do you reckon would have been able to pick up?
Well, I think the team that played the last half a dozen matches for us, if that team starts the season, I think it's at least a playoff team or a 10th position maybe, because I think we got better and we had a bit more experience in the team, we had more goals in the team, we got used to each other a lot more, so I think we were more solid as a team. But of course the start of the season where we didn't have many points because we were getting beat by the odd goal all the time hurt us, but thankfully in the end we managed to get enough points to keep us up, so that's the most important thing. But you know, I'm sure we'd have had another 10, 15, 20 points if we'd have started with a team that we finished.
Absolutely, you can see that by the sort of calibre of opposition that we were picking points up from.
Well, we played a lot of teams. You know, the last game of the season we played against Solihull, who finished second, and we played Eastleigh, we played Ebbsfleet. They're all around the playoff area, and we didn't look out of place. So they're the little targets that I'm now looking at to make sure we're very competitive next season.
Absolutely, and in terms of, if you had to sort of give me maybe a couple of the main positives that you picked up from that last sort of run, what would you pick out in particular?
Well, I think the change in the team is when the American owners got involved and we were allowed to bring in some players, because the last thing that they wanted was to put some investment into the football club and the football club gets relegated. That's the last thing they wanted. So they always were very helpful. They're always discussing what the type of thing that the team needed. Now straight away we identified that we needed more goals. So to get Connor Wilkinson and to get Angelo Balanta in at that time was fantastic for us, because all of a sudden we were a threat to the opposition. I'm sure before that the other teams in the changing room at 2:30 weren't talking too much about us, but after we signed players like that, then I think they were, and it showed. We got goals out of nothing, and not only did we get goals, I think the general forward play improved and we kept the ball a lot more. So it made us defend less, made us have more clean sheets or let in less goals.
I think for us it was a pleasure for us to edit the goal of the season sort of montage that we did last week. Connor Wilkinson obviously won that. What were your thoughts on some of those goals that sort of started coming with some of those players? Well,
as you can appreciate, at the start of the season there weren't enough goals, so any goals I saw I was always a happy chappy. Connor's an outstanding player, there's no doubt about that. He's too good really for the National League, we know that, and you know, we were delighted to get him, and we're really pleased to have him. He came here and he done it right, and he took his job and took his role very seriously, and he worked out a wonderful signing for us. So his 12 goals kept us up, and I've got no doubt about that. Angelo Balanta, I still think should be in the league because he's a very classy player, and we're again delighted to have Angelo. He brings the team together, you know, and so that's where I think, you know, not only have we won some matches, I think we've been quite enjoyable to watch.
Moving into your sort of personal season, there was obviously the sort of shaky start to the season, coming off the back of a difficult summer for the club. Mm-hmm. What would you say was the single biggest thing that turned that sort of run around for you?
Well, I think getting Kenny Clark and the two strikers we mentioned earlier certainly helped us. There's no doubt about that. I think we were a little bit unlucky. I still felt as though we should have had more points than we did. I think that there was too many times where we were losing by the odd goal, and that was us losing it on our own problems. I remember playing Barnet away, we're 1-0 up and we have a throw in and we concede a goal from it. So all little things like that were happening, and it was mounting up, and it was a big test for the players to come in on a Monday morning getting beat again. But slowly but surely we kept the spirit together. The boys were magnificent. They were very honest in their work to try and recover from a bad result. We then managed to get the strikers in that then put us on a good run, and I think that was the difference. So the start of the season was tough for us, but I felt as though the players stuck at it as a very honest group, and that's why we recovered.
And sort of to end on, would you say this is one of yours and your coaching staff's prouder achievements in your careers, to keep Dagenham in the league, especially, like you say, after such a tough summer?
Yeah, I've got to say that when I decided I fancied the challenge of coming here to do the job, I knew that there was going to be a few problems. I knew what a target it would be to try and stay in the league. And when we got the win against Ebbsfleet away, I was as proud as anything, because for me, we all said to ourselves, we know it's going to be a difficult season from the top to the bottom. We all said that. We recovered it. We stayed in it. We're now still a National League team. Really now looking forward to next season.
And you touched on it at the start. I'll just finish on this point. We touched at the start that 10th and above is the aim, playoffs ideally. Can you say any more on that, about sort of more specific games?
Well, the game of football's tough. It can hit that crossbar and go in, or it hit the crossbar and goes in the stands. You never know what's going to happen. All you can do is to produce a squad that's going to be competitive, going to be very honest, going to give you absolutely everything that every game that you play. Now that's our aim. Our aim is to go and get promotions. As simple as that. Any manager would say the same. But we're also very realistic about it, and so I'm convinced we'll have a better team than we had last season, and the way that we finished, we had a decent team. I'm convinced we'll have a better team than that.